Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey with the JX Fight Club in Shanghai, China. And I've got a great question from our friend Constantine, who has been boxing for about a year now. And he says he's noticed that he's become a lot more durable with this year of training. But he wants to know, is there something about the physical training that increases your energy stores, makes you more durable, makes you tougher, or is it a state of mind? Is it like mental toughness? And the answer is yes and yes, absolutely. Okay, both of those things are true. Both of those come into play. When we train, we become physically stronger, more physically resilient. We increase our VO2 max, our cardio capacity, and we also increase our mental toughness. But that also depends on how we train for it. Think about if you've been boxing for a year, what was it like the first time you got into the ring, put the gloves on, and actually sparred, versus what it feels like right now? Right, the first time most people get in the ring, they're really, really nervous. Their head's not in a good place, and they flinch and they flail and they do terribly most of the time. But give a man a year of consistent training, where he goes in and spars regularly and learns to adapt to that situation, he becomes much more mentally tough and able to rise to that occasion. And so instead of seeing a bunch of motion blurs and flinching and covering up and panicking, he's able to stay composed and keep his guard up and check that stuff coming in and move his head and counter and make more intelligent choices. Okay, so that's largely mental, but yeah, it is also physical, right? It's very important, in my opinion, not to separate the mind and the body. And I would go so far as not to separate the mind, the body, and the soul. We live in a world where we think that we need to go to a gym to train our body, go to a school to train our brain, go to a church to train our soul or our spirit. But we have to understand they're all connected, right? Your mind is your body, your soul is you. And we can mix that up any way we want, and it's still true, right? The soul is the spirit, and the body, the mind and the body, they're connected. I mean, your brain is part of your body, right? So whether you believe in some metaphysical state of consciousness, or if you believe it's all up here in your head as a biochemical process, it's the same thing, because it's all connected, okay? So that's kind of a long rant to say, yeah, we are strengthening the mind through strengthening the body. For example, if we lift weights, let's say I grab this extremely heavy 2.5 kilo dumbbell, and I'm a weakling, and I'm trying to do an overhead press, and it's like, I struggle to lift that up, and eventually it gets up there, right? Now, if I keep pressing this up there, eventually it's going to get easy, and I can do, overhead presses, and then it's not going to feel heavy anymore. Man, I remember when I was a little kid, and I tried to pick up something this heavy. Oh man, that was work. That was serious work, and now it's like a feather. It's like nothing, right? What happened? Well, yeah, I grew. I got physically stronger, but something about this process also develops mental strength, right? Because we can see that we are able. It's not about believing that you're able to do something, it's about seeing the way. There's an old Latin saying that I love, possunt quia posse videntur. They can because they see that they can. They can because they see that they can. Not because they believe they can, but because they see it. They see the way. So when we train in boxing, more and more we start to see differently. Right? How did you watch a boxing match before you started training? Right? You probably saw guys throwing punches at each other, and it probably seemed very simple. But then you got in the gym, you got in the ring with more experienced fighters, and you realized it's not as simple as I thought it was. This is, there's science to this. There's angles and movement and strategy and intelligence behind this stuff, and there's all this technique, right? And so, yeah, Man, I would strongly recommend that everybody do mental toughness drills. And here's what I mean by that. When I started fighting professionally, I was not in the kind of athletic shape that I should have been. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but you know, I really was not in the type of shape that I needed to be. But I had this coach, this great coach, who showed me, who demonstrated that toughness, cardio, strength, etc., it's largely a state of mind. Yes, it's very much a physical state of the body, but it's also largely a state of mind. He gave me this crazy routine to do with kettlebells. You know, how to swing kettlebells and throw kettlebells around and do get-ups, Turkish get-ups and snatches and all these things with a kettlebell and burpees, exhaustive amounts of burpees. You know, this crazy routine that went on for 30 minutes straight. And at the time I felt like, you know, doing a 3-minute kickboxing round was pretty tiring. Doing 3 of those was kind of exhausting. But this 30-minute workout that was just so crazy intense, it almost killed me physically is what it felt like. So he said, you have to do this. Whatever you do, don't quit. Keep moving no matter what, don't quit. So I got out there and I struggled. About 3 minutes in, I felt exhausted. I wanted to stop. Don't quit, he said. Don't quit, keep going. Oh man, I toughed through like 9 minutes of it. I felt like I was going to die. I felt like I was going to throw up. Felt like my legs were going to come out from under me. But again, my coach kept telling me, don't quit, keep going, don't quit. It's all a state of mind. There's that little voice in your head telling you, stop, stop, give up, you're not strong enough, you're not good enough. Ignore that voice. It's not you. It doesn't own you. It doesn't control you. It's not your voice. Shut it out. And that was game-changing for me because I realized, hey, that isn't my voice. That's something else. That's not who I want to be. I want to be the guy who finishes the fight and finishes strong. I want to be the guy who doesn't get tired. I want to be inexhaustible. I want to be an athlete. And athletes don't listen to a little voice in their head that says, quit, quit, quit. No, they keep going no matter what they feel like. And so I dug deep mentally, here, and I told myself, no matter what, I'm not going to quit. You know, even if it kills me, even if I throw up and faint, I'm going to keep going. And somehow I made it through that 30-minute circuit. And at the end of that, my body gave out and I kind of flopped on the floor and I was like, man, I can't believe I did that. But, you know, that exercise made me stronger mentally, emotionally, made me stronger in here, much more than it did right there. Okay, doing 30 minutes of exercise in a row, that's not going to turn you into an athlete, but it can certainly change your state of mind. So that's one of those things I'd recommend. Find something that is very difficult for you, and every once in a while, not every day, but every once in a while, pull that difficult thing off the shelf and do it. Force yourself to do it. And some fighters, they really hate running. And, you know, I'm one of them. I don't do a lot of running because it hurts my joints, to be honest. I used to do a lot of running in my 20s, but now that I'm almost 40, it's a different game. It's a different situation. But, you know, some fighters don't do it because they simply hate it. And so they force themselves to do that thing that they hate because it makes them mentally stronger. Because when you get in a fight, you start taking hits, boom, boom, boom. Nobody likes that. Some people say, oh, I love getting punched. No, you don't. That's a lie. Nobody likes getting punched. Our very animal instincts tell us, stay away from the danger. Nobody likes getting punched, right? So, we become comfortable being uncomfortable, and that is a state of mind, but we achieve that state of mind through what we do in the body, right? This body is a vehicle to shape our mind. It is a vehicle to shape our soul. I mean, that's why we're here on this earth, right? To have experiences in a physical body, to shape what's on the inside, to build this character. So yes, both of those things are true. Your training will make you physically stronger, but it'll also make you stronger up here and right here. So keep at it, my friend. Get out there and train.